Adversity, bring it. The struggle, we welcome it. Snooze on life, never that. We are Dave Regina and Mike Pirelli, and this is the No Snooze Podcast. Come on. Welcome back, No Snooze Podcast, episode 109. I'm in the booth by myself, not with our typical co-host, Michael Pirelli. But before we get started, we want to say congratulations to the Pirelli household on the birth of a beautiful, beautiful No Snooze baby, Juliana Rose. What an incredible name. I think she was delivered at like 4 a.m. CV, so definitely a No Snooze baby. Mike will be joining us in the next couple episodes, but today is just me and my brother behind the booth, known as The Voice, Claudio Valenzuela, and I am Dave, the summer body with a tan, Regina. We switched up the camera angle on you guys today. So we got a couple questions. My brother CV and I will be going back and forth. We've been doing a little summer series, and the piece that I've done is all about mindset. So there's been a couple questions that have come in that I've answered personally to the individuals, but they've been really good questions that we want to share with the masses. So we hope you find some value in it. If you do, we ask that you like, share, subscribe to one of our channels. You can listen on your favorite audio platform. So without further ado, CV. It's been a minute, man. I feel a little nervous and rusty. I don't know about you back there.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Right?
Just a little bit. Yeah.
I know, man. It's good to be back, though. Definitely good to be back. So how has summer been for you, my brother?
It's been good. It's been good. You know, a little stressful, but it's been good. I've been keeping up with a lot of the things that I was doing towards before the summer started. And that's been the new challenge, and that's been the new update. So I've been feeling good because I've been actually keeping up with it, which in the past I've never been able to. Right. Summer would come around, and it's like, nope, gotta relax, not even relax, gotta focus on the work, and I would completely stop taking care of the fitness portion, the food portion. And I'm happy to say that and it has not been perfect, and there's been some cheating here and there.
Nobody is,
but I have been consistently every single day been working out in the morning, eating my prep meals, and so it's been, in that sense, it's been pretty satisfying for me to see that I'm able to do it over the 6 weeks that camp was and all that. So I'm excited. You know, there was cheating because it's summer, and, you know, there's weekend things, gatherings, you know, some alcoholic beverages, you know.
Little tequila.
Yeah, some of those. But
I hear that.
But I'm excited that I've been able to do the workout. And it's been tough because, you know, I have to be at work pretty early, and getting up even earlier to knock that out.
Yep.
After a whole day of walking around and being tired was something that always, you know, dawned on me. So
sacrifice.
Yeah, it's been awesome though. I feel good.
Good. Yeah. And for those of you guys who don't know, not to give too much background on what CV does professionally, but he oversees a very large summer camp in a municipality with hundreds of campers and a couple hundred employees as well. So it's a very big operation that he oversees. So for the time being, you know, Mike and I, we recorded a couple shorter episodes, and you know, we've been out of the booth for a couple weeks. So it's our first time back. But now CV with the mindset. Going into work and having that heavy, I guess, workload on you, do you feel better when you actually are taking care of yourself in other aspects of your life? Like, do you see that it translates over to business? I'm just curious about that.
To be honest, 100% difference. You know, I'm a little bit more tired, but once you work out in the morning, once you get that out of the way, you feel invigorated. You feel energized for the rest of the day, and anything that comes the rest of the day doesn't feel quite as hard. Right. And your stamina will definitely last a little bit longer, which is very helpful, because if you are doing a 12-hour day or something like that, which I was doing, especially in the very beginning, you're going to get tired, but you're getting there, and you're getting there okay, not completely like done and I can't make it, you know. But no, it absolutely makes a huge difference.
Yeah, even for me, what I feel is like I think I'm nicer to people. Yep. I don't know if that makes sense, right? Like, I guess it's your energy level.
There's no pent up energy. There's no built up anything, so you don't go into any conversation with like,
right, like a sourpuss, or like David Goggins calls it poo pants. But no, man, that's awesome. You look great. Have you weighed in? I mean, you got to be down. So you're down over 60 pounds total.
So I was at 60. I haven't weighed myself in the last 2 weeks because it's been a little bit hectic, and I was away for one weekend, and I'm not gonna lie, the choices were sketchy. Yeah. So I decided, let me not do it. But I am anxious to do it because now I've been kind of back on the grind, and I usually do the Friday, the Friday weigh-ins. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing if there's any damage. But up until the last weigh-in, I was kind of maintaining, honestly. So I'm sure that whatever good I did during the week, I probably kind of evened out over the weekend. So I wasn't going up or down. It was kind of staying pretty even. But I don't
60
know.
pounds, man, is wild. That's incredible. When you think about that and you hear that out loud, it's pretty impressive, no?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big number. I guess I've never taken it that seriously, but I definitely feel it on my clothes so much, right. And everyone will make comments like, "Oh, clothes are so big, this and that," and so I have kind of bought a couple of things here and there that are a little bit more my new size, not the old size, and that's probably where I see it the most, and that's probably where it feels the best, I tend to make a lot of little jokes. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm skinny now. So I can fit here. I can fit there.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. So, yeah, let's get started on these questions. CV's going to read them off. I am actually going to have them up on the screen as well. Just give me 1 second.
Please forgive my my reading abilities. I'm gonna try my best. Okay, so the first question, do you want me to give you the anonymous names or my fictitious names that I make?
Honestly, don't even go names. I don't think it really even
No matters. Serena W?
Oh, you want problem. Okay, you want to give us you could give us the fictitious.
Ooh, actually, did you know Serena is going to be retiring?
I saw that.
Big time news.
I did see
so
that.
she submitted a question. I want to let you know what it is.
Oh, okay.
Why are you such a firm believer in physical fitness being the answer to growth in all aspects? Do you think it's possible to change your life without learning consistency and discipline in the gym? Serena is an avid follower, so she wanted to know.
She wanted to know. Wow. So the first time that CV read this, he was like, "Oh wow, this is a very good question." And I know a lot of people say this, but this definitely is, I think, a good question for me because of kind of what everybody sees my mindset in the gym. But the first piece is, why are you such a firm believer in physical fitness being the answer to growth in all aspects of life, right?
Yes.
And I think I'm a firm believer in that because of what it's done for me personally, right? I took, I've had certain experiences and adversity in my life, and I was never really able to find an outlet and apply, I guess, the proper mindset to it to use it as fuel. In the gym, I think if you can find a way to push yourself physically, you really don't need any other adversity in your life because you're basically creating it in physical form. So if you're able, I use the analogy a lot of, being able to do like 1 more or 2 more repetitions, right? And if you get to a place that you're doing, crunches, and you say you're going to do 20 repetitions, and now you start to feel the physical pain, right? And it becomes a habit of yours that when you start to feel that physical pain, even if you get to that 20th repetition, you're able to go to 22. So what you're doing is you're subconsciously creating a new environment for yourself. Your expectation of yourself is now automatically leveling up because you said you were going to do 20 repetitions and now you're doing 22. So that concept right there is kind of the mindset that I apply to the gym. Now, go ahead, CV. You got something?
I was going to say, it's almost like practicing adversity in a very safe, controlled manner. Correct. Because normally adversity comes in ways that you don't control,
right.
And they're very stressful, and they really induce a lot of feelings and a lot of things that are very hard to control regardless
100%.
Of then overcoming the adversity.
Yes.
In this way, you're literally practicing it with something that you're controlling, which is, yes, that pain,
right.
That next repetition, that whatever. So it's I think this is what you're saying, which is I've never even thought of it that way until it almost clicked a second after you were saying it. But it's pretty wild that to think that that's a good almost a way to compare it to what adversity would feel like,
Right. So I just actually gave a speech to a young group of young men, college students, and I was explaining this because they were athletes, and I was explaining this concept to them. And it kind of did the same thing for them. It kind of clicked. And I was like, well, listen, if you can apply this same mindset to your next relationship, to your next business, to any sort of adversity that's created in your life off of an experience that happens to you, but you're able to go back in your mind and you're saying, well, I've done this to myself physically before. So it's the same exact principle. I'm feeling a little uncomfortable right now, and I just need to stay in this conversation for an extra minute. I just need to, be able to figure this out with my business partner instead of running away. That's some things that we typically do all the time. So it's being able to take the physical piece and applying it to the rest of your life. Now, do I think it's possible to change your life without learning consistency and discipline in the gym? I do think it's possible, but it's almost unfortunate because I think people will go two ways. You can either create this environment for yourself or it will be created for you. When you have a death in the family, when you have something extremely tragic happen in your life and you have to persevere because you have no choice, I think that's the other way to do it, right? I've been fortunate. Well, I don't know about fortunate, but I've had both experiences in my life. I've had, traumatic and very life-changing events that have happened to me that I've shared on this podcast before, even the journey that I've shared of my mom's sobriety, right? 3.5+ years, that mindset that she's been able to apply. We saw some things growing up, just like everybody else, that were very uncomfortable. So those experiences, until you have a life-altering experience, now I think your life can change in other aspects of your life, right? Like CV had mentioned before, there were some personal things that happened in his life. If you go back to the podcast, I think in like December, you could probably listen to those episodes around there. But for him, it basically created a sense of gratitude for him. So he's able to now be a little bit more grateful based off of the experience that happened in your life. So I think fitness is the easier way to do it, to be honest with you, because it's not based off of like, oh my God, real life trauma. God forbid I lost my spouse. How do I move forward, right? Of course, that's a terrible thing, and that's going to be, a life altering thing for you. But now if you've been practicing this, just emotionally and mentally and physically, not that it makes it easy by any means, but you're able to continue to keep going. And then, as long as you're able to stay in the same habits and routines, eventually over time, as we all know with death, it's a very unfortunate circumstance, but it's a fact of life. You're able to continue to keep going. So I do think it's possible without applying it to the gym, but then it's going to be based off of personal experiences that happen in your life.
I also think that there's something to be said for you have to make that connection.
Right.
Because I think I think a lot of people will work out and won't really associate that pain.
That was me.
I think it's a lot of people, right? Yeah. Honestly, it happened to me right now. I have worked out in the past, and I've never even given it two thoughts that the two could correlate.
Right.
But now that it meant something to me, now that there was a connection in my mind, now that there was a mental change, a physical change, it really kind of puts everything together.
Yes.
And that's, I think, how you can really use one to help you with the other aspects.
CV always talks about, we've had conversations for years, and he would say, you got to talk about this brain hacking stuff, right? And that's the brain hack right there. Like, if you're able to be intentional about the workout that you're going to have, right, that can translate now to everything else. If you just go in the gym and you have a great workout, that's awesome too. Like, that's not a bad thing. But when you're able to create, the intention and the discipline behind every single repetition, every single set. And of course, nobody's perfect, right? There's times that I pick up my phone in the gym. There's times that I half-ass a set. That happens. But for the most part, 80, 85, 90% of my workout is very intentional. And I put myself in other scenarios just so I'm constantly thinking about this. And it's the intention piece that I think creates the connection. But if you find that and you're able to apply it, it's life-changing. Great question.
Awesome. All right. Next question from another avid follower. Who do I pick this time? Let me see. I'll tell you at the end.
And before you say that, just before, if you guys submit questions and you want your name called out, let us know. But these people that have submitted the questions, they do it via DM or via email. And they didn't say, include my name or not. And some of the stuff is pretty personal. Like this next one, I think is a little personal. So, we're choosing to leave those names out. Not that it's a big deal, but yeah, this is Bill Clinton, right? This is Bill Clinton?
It's William C.
Okay.
That's how you put it down.
Okay,
William
okay.
C. I have a small website services startup that just closed in on my first 10K in sales. It's been over some time, but it's been a big milestone for me. I'm proud of it, but I find myself getting nervous of the expansion. I have a young child with not much help and get hesitant that I'll be wasting my time with this if it doesn't pan out. I'm now at a place to hire someone and feel like I've narrowed it down to 3 people. What skills would you look for before anything else?
Great question. Obviously, sales, business based, which I love because it takes me out of the gym mindset. But the first piece that you said was I have a small website services startup that you just closed in on $10,000 in sales. You got to stop using verbiage like that, because now this is no longer a small startup, right? Congratulations on your first $10,000 in sales. I don't know how long it took you, but it doesn't matter because that's still a huge milestone. So I think you need to change the verbiage of how you're representing your own business. The piece that you said you're nervous of the expansion, I believe, is normal. I think everybody is definitely nervous when you have startups, especially when you start making money, because you're like, well, can I handle this volume if it explodes, or is it going to crash, right? And it seems like now you have a young child, which is obviously the priority. And I do know from speaking to this person that they also have another job as well. So this startup is not the only source of income, which makes you hesitant that you're going to be wasting your time, like you said. It says you're now at a place to hire somebody, which is awesome. But now you're looking, I think, to narrow it down in terms of the skill set that you'd be looking for. Now, for me, the first thing that I look for when I'm hiring somebody is interest, right? Like there has to be a general interest in the same sort of thing that we do. If you're not interested in what I do, you're most likely not going to be fully invested into this endeavor. So the first thing is obviously interest. I think respect is another major factor. Like I heavily weigh how somebody carries themselves. I don't really care how you dress per se, but it is a representation of you. And obviously this is a website, so you're kind of behind the scenes. You might not even see this person. It might be remote, so that piece isn't there. But I would evaluate how your conversations go. Is this person a respectable individual that you want representing your brand? I think we make a mistake oftentimes. We've even done it here where you bring people on a little bit too soon and you don't know exactly how they represent their own life. And if you just take a quick dive into that, respect is a major thing. Discipline for me is huge. You don't have to be the most disciplined human being in the world, but you need to speak to in the interview process some level of discipline that you have in your life, because then that makes me feel comfortable in terms of I know this person is going to be a reliable individual and it can at least get the job done. Remember, discipline is doing something you don't want to do like you love it. So we all go to work on days that we don't want to go to work, but if this person is disciplined and can still show up for me, that's what I'm looking for. So you got interest, you got respect, you got the discipline factor. And then I guess the final thing that I would look for is the ability and willingness to learn. I don't want somebody that knows it all. I know it's great to have somebody that comes in with general knowledge. That's awesome, and they should come in with that. But is this person a know-it-all? And every time you tell them something, they're like, oh, yeah, I've done that before. I call those one-uppers. You tell somebody a story, and they're like, oh, you walked 5 dogs? Like, I walked 7 5 years ago. And they're always, you know what I'm talking about, CV? They're always like that individual that's trying to one-up you versus the humble individual that's kind of sitting back and is like, wow, thank you for your perspective. So I think the culmination of that, or as close to that as possible, is what you want to look for in terms of hiring somebody. But you're killing it. I mean, $10,000 in sales is a big milestone. You have to make a decision, though. Like, you have to either go all in or go all out. Don't waste your time in this. It's kind of like purgatory. You're basically debating, well, do I go? You have a proven formula right now. You just sold $10,000. I don't care if it took you 5 years. You still sold that, right? So whatever you're doing in terms of your website startup service company is working, right? People are paying for that service. So that's your proof in the pudding. I think it's time to go all in.
Cool. So this next one is a little bit of a long, before we get into the question.
These are all long.
So here you go. This is from my main man, Dwayne J.
The Rock.
Someone called him the Pebble. I'm not sure.
The Pebble. That's
big
me.
Pebble.
I'm the Pebble.
Need advice on how to manage my time to get a good workout on a 15-hour daily, 5 days a week shift. Currently working from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m., Monday through Friday, and living alone has me taking care of everything that I can't get that I can't get to do during the week. Plus, this schedule has me so exhausted that it has me sleeping on Saturdays, having me waste the entire Saturday on recovering. It's tough. I'm afraid of throwing away my health because of work. What can I do, or what do you think is best for me to do given my current situation? That's a big one, Dwayne G.
That's a very good question. And, you know, the only thing that I can speak on is experience because I've been here before. And not only 5 days a week, I actually did it 6. So I had 1 day off, and it was definitely rough. But I would, in this situation, hit what's called a 4-day split. I would personally, if you're off on Saturdays and Sundays, I would actually start my week in terms of a workout on Saturday and make the sacrifice. I know you're tired, but you're off, right? So you have to grind on the 2 days that you're actually off. So Saturday and Sunday, I would do a workout. I would shift it to what's called a upper and then a lower body day because you can work multiple aspects of the body in one workout, right? So you would work out on Saturday, upper, Sunday per se would be lower, Monday then, and Tuesday I would actually take off, right? So you've worked out 2 days, now Monday, Tuesday you're off. Wednesday I would do upper, and then Thursday I would do lower, and then Friday would be off. You can do this and not overwork yourself. You got to prioritize heavily when you do have time though, right? Like you got to do your laundry, you got to do your meal prep. It said that they were living alone, right? Yeah. So like all the chores and stuff, you really have to prioritize on the days that you're either off or the time that you have right after work, right? So like if you're getting off at 9 o'clock, you might have to meal prep. You might have to do laundry until 10:30 at night. You can still get a decent sleep with 6 hours. I've done that for the majority of my life. I know scientists and doctors will tell you need 8+, which is probably true at some point, but this is your life right now. So you have to be intentional really about what it is that you want. And you're saying that you want to prioritize your health and you don't want it to, go to waste. So yeah, you might have to sacrifice being a little tired, but that schedule of 2 days on in terms of you working out, then 2 days off, then 2 days on again, working out, is a very safe and effective way, and you'll get very efficient results from that. Weekend workouts, because you're off, I would probably stay a little bit longer in the gym, but then the other days I would probably set it to 1 hour. You got to figure out the time frame though. Like, are you going from 4:30 to 5:30 and then showering and going to work at 6? It's a hustle, but it can be done. Or are you going to get off of work at 9 p.m. and work out until maybe 10:30, shower, get in bed by 11:15? Right, and then wake up and do it the next day. You have to choose what it is that you want. I hope for you, this schedule doesn't last forever. I don't really think this is a sustainable schedule over time. I wish I knew exactly what industry, but I do believe that it's in the medical profession from just even seeing this individual on Instagram. This came in via DM, by the way. But my hope for you would be that this is a grind season, right? Like we work in seasons of our life. So for a very long time in my 20s, I had to work 6 days a week and sometimes even 7. Mike Pirelli still does that sometimes. But it's because you're not going to have to do that forever. So be diligent now and get the job done.
I guess this would be one of those, and I think Mike always kind of references this, but mastering kind of like your routines, right?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously then incorporating this discipline piece, because it's going to be one of those difficult things that you're going to have to, one, master the routine, make sure it's always kind of the same and make sure it's efficient,
right? And
then being disciplined enough to kind of go day in and day out, which is tough. I can't even imagine.
Mm-hmm. Super tough. Yeah. 3 phenomenal questions. Go ahead, CV. What do you got?
Thank you, Dwayne.
Dwayne.
By the way, he puts in some crazy long days and some crazy.
Oh yeah. I mean, all these guys though, right? Like
it's like a whole different level when it gets to some of those real high achievers.
Yep.
The amount, like when the time, like Mark Wahlberg is another.
Oh yeah.
You've seen like their
that documentary. Serious.
Like when they work out, how they work out, and the intensity, and sometimes it's like the most randomest times, like 3 o'clock in the morning, because that's when they have the time.
Yep.
Which is insane to me to be able to function. Yeah. And then still being in that high achieving kind of bracket to be able to do everything that they do.
Right. The majority of individuals that I follow and I see and I look up to, they have some sort of physical fitness routine. And it could be walking, right? Am I wrong?
Hey, that's mine.
No. But you get what I'm saying? Am I wrong though? Like in saying that, like when you actually look, like Warren Buffett, even Steve Jobs, these guys like to really walk, right? They're geniuses, but they know that when they get their body moving, even in a walk or a jog, whatever it is, or a heavy lift,
it does something to your body.
It does something to your brain, and the chemicals actually shift in your brain. I'm not a scientist, but I do know proof, right? Like I've been doing this
big science.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing this a very long time now. I've had great results for what I'm trying to achieve in my life. Still nowhere near where I want to be. But everybody that I follow has some sort of physical routine because it's about prioritizing your own needs. And then ironically, you're able to show up better for everything else in your life.
Yeah, if you're physically right, your mind is going to be right.
That's right, CV. Yeah. CV's dime of the week, baby. You got anything else?
No? Yeah, I'm good on my end.
All right, so this will bring us to my favorite section.
Here we go.
Dave's Dime of the Week.
Dimes.
That's right, baby. Gotta let it pause. And now deliver.
I'm giving you the bass, too, with a dime.
All right. Deliver an effective one. It's not selfish to love and take care of yourself. Make your happiness a priority. It's necessary. Everything we spoke about today and these questions, you have to find some sort of intention of making yourself a priority. If you're walking around life and you're just doing things for everybody else, you're never going to achieve what's called fulfillment in yourself, right? You're going to feel some void. You look at single moms, single dads that, are constantly only taking care of their kids. Of course, that's the main priority, right? But it's necessary for you to find some time for you to enjoy yourself, whether that's through a physical fitness routine or it has nothing to do with fitness at all. You need some time to wind down, gather yourself and get a little creative. Go to a movie by yourself. I don't know. Go have a meal or do something you like to do. Get your nails done. Get a haircut on Fridays at 12 o'clock. Just don't take my slot. But it's a priority. In mental health these days, we see the effect of kind of what's going on. Sometimes I do think the term is overused. But when you're adulting, like we all are here, it's very real. So taking the time to make yourself a priority is absolutely, it's not necessary. It's mandatory.
I like it.
Right? We will be back. Again, this was a little shorter episode than typical. The next episode we're going to drop is another Mind edition by yours truly. And we're going to be talking about fear and some concepts that I've kind of dealt with in my life. So if you've enjoyed this, again, we ask that you tell a friend, share it, help somebody else out if it helped you. If you guys have any questions, you can DM us at NoSnoozePodcast on Instagram, or you can send us an email at NoSnoozePodcast@gmail.com. All right. I don't have my brother next to me, but I got my brother behind the booth. So
I got you.
Till next time, stop snoozing.
Get up and get after it.
That's right, baby. Make yourself happy, goddammit.
That's another Effie in the books. Go follow us on Instagram and Facebook at No Snooze Podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, No Snooze. Come on.